Hello and welcome to our webinar series. This is our second class preview webinar for the MS in Education International Teaching and Global Leadership program. Today, we will be going over the Advance Instructional Strategies course. My name is Serena Stewart. I'm Associate Director of Admissions here in the School of Education. It's a pleasure to be with you here today. I am also here with Dr. Mark Trexler from the ITGL program, and he is going to be our instructor for this morning's webinar.
Good morning, everyone.
So welcome to ITGL Class Preview Week. I don't know if many of you were here yesterday for our Global Leadership course, but if you were here, welcome back again. This is the second class in the series, like I mentioned. Tomorrow, we will also be featuring Global Education Policy and Analysis from Dr. Jennifer Adams. So come back tomorrow if you want to hear her class as well as being part of our class here today. So before we get into the class, I just wanted to share a little bit of the ITGL program features. The program is really designed to prepare future global innovative educational leaders in all sorts of fields, including business, technologies, schools, policy, communities, and governments. Many of our students go on to found their own business. Some of them work in their home countries as teachers or education professionals. Some of them go on to work for organizations like UNICEF on a global scale. Some of them continue on for doctoral study. So there's many different pathways that you can take after you graduate from the ITGL program. It's an intensive educational experience that provides candidates with the opportunities to develop knowledge of the most important aspects of education, an informed global perspective of educational trends and research, targeted expert knowledge in selected focus areas. We'll go over a little bit of the ITGL curriculum, kind of broken down on another slide, but you take core courses and then courses in your selected focus area as well. You get a unique applied experience through extended learning or a final semester internship, and that really allows you hands-on in the field experience in your focus area. And then finally, you get to do your professional portfolio. So here is just a basic rundown of the curriculum and the different categories of ITGL. So first is the ITGL core courses. All of our courses in the class preview series are a part of those ITGL core courses, meaning that every single ITGL student, regardless of focus area, will take these courses. Then there's the courses that are specific to focus areas, the applied learning experience, and then finally the portfolio experience. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Mark Trexler. He is an assistant clinical professor in the ITGL program in the School of Education.
Well, great. Thank you so much, Serena, and welcome everyone to this class preview of our Advanced Instructional Strategies course. I'm very happy to be with you all today and to give you a preview of what we talk about in this course and what we have our students engage with, and then culminating in what types of project work our students work on. And, you know, in this beginning slide, we should really begin to view this course. We're talking about instructional design, learning design on an international platform. And I think we are in a very connected 24/7 networked world whereupon which we are asked as learning designers to deliver instruction. And that instruction needs to be targeted, efficient, and optimize learners' time. And so in this course, we discuss those really critical strategies that we need to bring to the forefront as educational leaders when we are doing the consideration of designing instruction. And so in this course, we look at various technologies, we look at various research-based methods to design instruction for our learners. And when I say learners, this is anything from K through 12 so elementary, middle, and high school age children, to undergrad and graduate level course design. And so we cover all these areas because we never know in our futures as careers where it will find us in terms of doing effective instructional design. And so a couple areas to make note of that this field of learning and design that has been around now for 40 and 50 years, based on the research models that have been in present, we know now that our classrooms are both digital classrooms with the use of computer technology, and they need to be interactive learning methods. So we don't want to deliver instruction to our various audiences. We certainly don't want to design instruction to our various audiences that are not interactive in nature. And so today I'm going to show you some examples of what we discuss and some development tools that we use in the course that our students in ITGL learn and gain experience from. Now, as we look across at some of these areas, we have what has become predominant in the past 5 to 10 years is both virtual and augmented reality technology. So we know that virtual reality, as you can see there in the screen picture, we know that people are now learning in simulated environments. Our own Johns Hopkins University here has and does employ in many pockets of the university virtual reality. So in this course, we look at how do you design instruction for these new virtual and augmented realities. So with augmented reality, we know that we are bringing objects and pictures of 3D capacity to study. And we're doing that in various academic fields like biology, chemistry, and engineering. And just to show out here on the web, so this is a this is an augmented reality picture of the brain. And so this is something that we would design for and place into our pieces of instruction. So we talk about that in this course. We also know that in many arenas of K through 12, the gamification of instruction has become big. So we are now looking at using game-like elements in education to improve motivation and retention with children by rewarding them progress and making learning enjoyable. So no longer is it just a static teacher talks to student, but we're trying to look at different strategies like gamification in education that could make a difference in children learning various academic arenas. And then finally, we talk about collaborative online learning. So many of us are learning from online, and we need to realize in our program, how would you design for these collaborative online learning moments? So we know now that we have digital platforms in which we can give timely delivery of instruction on many different skills that students need. And then we also know that as part of this online learning, we have to collaborate really in real time, bridging any kind of geographical boundaries that we have, but also functioning together for effective teamwork and creating those effective teamwork skills. As I kind of go out and review career opportunities for our ITGL students, one thing that has become very important to understand is the bridging of fostering those team working skills that our students learn in this course as they do graded group-based assignments in designing instruction. Right now, many companies, many educational organizations build instruction as teams. So there's not one individual building instruction, but we have many different people building in instruction. Last week in our course, We had guest speakers as instructional designers from various departments across Johns Hopkins come in to speak to our students here in ITGL about the need for teamworking, collaborative skills when designing instruction in teams. And this is something I believe in doing in my course, is to bring people that are currently here at Johns Hopkins University designing instruction for these various digital classrooms that we have here at the university and designing interactive learning for our students to hear from real life designers as to some of the challenges they're facing, but also some of the successes that they experience, and to pass that on and that experience on to our ITGL students, I feel in my coursework is very important for our students to have. So today, as part of the class preview, I'm going to take you through a research-based methodology, and this is one that we have recently studied in our Advanced Instructional Strategies course. And this is known as Gagne's 9 Events of Instruction. So Robert Gagne was a cognitive psychologist, and he became very interested in the simple notion of how do people learn effectively. And obviously, as a cognitive psychologist, he's really studied the structure, the actual structure of learning, and kind of informed our learning design community as faculty, as students, how to effectively design instruction. So we looked at 9 essential areas that we should try to incorporate in any instruction, whether it would be delivery for online learning or face-to-face in the classroom. So those 9 areas were composed of gaining the attention of the students. So how do we motivate ourselves to be interested in the instruction they were about to take? How do we inform the learner of about what we are about to discuss topically in our courses? Second, we inform the learner of the learning objectives. So this is a very interesting area that Gagne talked about. And this in particular is an area right now that artificial intelligence is having an impact in the field of designing instruction. And I'm going to show you today, as part of our class preview, I'm going to show you an artificial intelligence tool that was actually created by one of our ITGL alumni that specifically is focused on creating learning objectives off of a research-based model that we study here in this course. So Gagne said the importance of the clarity of learning objectives, what the learner is about to learn from, becomes highly important. The third area is stimulating recall. So he talked a lot about how we recall from our past knowledge bases in our brains to bring forward to the learning. So we should build that also into our instruction. How do we present content? Like today, I'm on an online delivery platform, but sometimes there may be additional ways we can deliver course content. Certainly, in some regards, this is a very effective way of delivering instruction, what we're doing today, but there are other methodologies to doing that. And so as part of reviewing Gagne's events of instruction, we typically look at doing this. Number 5 is a very important thing, and the research points this out, is providing learning guidance. And that is, in helping the learner with guiding them through the instruction, providing practice opportunities to them, and so forth. So we can guide the learning. And you can apply that to any technical topic or human research topic that you wanted to do. So both 6 and 7 are kind of critical with regard to providing learners with feedback. Feedback is an important aspect of any learning event, and often students who take our classes that we design reflect upon and talk about the lack of feedback, that they feel like too much time passes through instruction, that instructors, faculty, teachers in K through 12 do not provide students with feedback. So in our course of Advanced Instructional Strategies, we talk about this. We talk about the challenges of providing timely feedback to students and how some of the basic research-based strategies can come into play that we can elicit for and provide our learners this critical feedback, whether they're learning online or face-to-face in one of our university classrooms or K through 12 classrooms. And then 8 and 9 are sort of together, but we assess per performance and we enhance retention and transfer. But assessing performance is becoming a more and more pressing issue. People really want to know when they walk out of our courses that we design, when we walk out of the instruction that we design, that they are able to assess their performance and gauge for the amount of learning that has taken place. And then 9, of course, is moving on. Can we take the set of skills and go to the next event of instruction that we are trying to learn from? Now, in past courses, in past course sections, we talk about Bloom's taxonomy and our role as instructional designers in using Bloom's taxonomy. And one of the things we quickly learn is that much of our instruction, unfortunately, that we are designing stay at the bottom 2 levels of Bloom, where we simply ask learners to just remember and understand. And far too much of our instruction, both online and face-to-face, tends to remain at these 2 basic levels of instruction. And what Bloom asks us to do, and we spend about an entire course section, if not 2, discussing Bloom's taxonomy and how to apply it in effective learning design. Our goal, our challenge as international learning designers is to move our instruction higher up Bloom's taxonomy, where indeed we have students applying skills as part of our instruction. We have them analyzing for the topic that they are studying, all the way up through evaluating and indeed creating. So I'm going to show you in a couple minutes, a couple strategies that we talk a lot about in our course that can get us as learning designers to that top of Bloom's taxonomy at the evaluate and create level. This is where we want to start delivering our instruction at and really starting to challenge students. One of the things that we've noted through the research is students, whether they are in K through 12 or even undergrad and graduate level education, far need more instruction that is designed at the analyze and higher part of Bloom. So I want to just pause for 1 second and show you a tool that was actually designed by one of our ITGL alumni who agrees with this notion in the research that we need to shoot higher in our study of Bloom. So this is called Logan AI, and as you can see here in the upper left-hand corner, it is based off of Bloom's technology. So this very specific AI tool hones in on Bloom's taxonomy and asks us to think about the learning objectives that Gagne described in his 9 events of instruction. So before we logged on today, I typed in, the way this works is we determine the grade level of use in the tool. And so you can see we can generate learning objectives as far back as kindergarten if that's the particular audience we are designing the instruction for. We can use this tool all the way up through higher education, whereupon we can create learning objectives that are targeted at undergrad and or graduate students of a particular content area. And so today, for today's course preview, and we use a lot of these kinds of tools to assess about learning in our course in Advanced Instructional Strategies. Today, I typed in a course
Trexler.
topic, which is AI in Educational Leadership, an introductory course. So we have been charged by our university to create this course for graduate level students. So we have picked the graduate level part of that. And now what's important is to think about the cognitive level that we are going to design, or we are going to ask this AI tool to help us design the learning objectives for. So I apologize about that. So we have our AI tool here on the screen, and this AI tool is based off of Bloom's taxonomy, which we reviewed earlier here. That is based off of the hierarchy of cognitive learning. And so this is the one area of learning design that has had a great AI has had a great effect on the tool, and that is the creation of learning objectives. So again, we're going to take a look at this, and this tool, we identify the grade level at graduate level, and then we define the cognitive level. So I have typed down here AI in educational leadership, an introductory course, and I'm going to select the apply level. So I'm going to ask the tool to generate objectives, and it's going to do that for me now. And it gives me objectives at the apply level of Bloom related to my topic area, AI in educational leadership, an introductory course. And one of the things then we do in the course is we review these learning objectives. So we have, as part of the output today, we have 4 objectives that we are going to review. So we select each, and we come down here, and in our further right-hand column over here, it tells us the objectives are saved. And now something that we discuss during course time is we check the overall quality of these learning objectives. So remember, one of the things I think that we're beginning to learn is we cannot always readily accept what comes out of our artificial intelligence tools. And so we have a way, and this tool is one of the ways, that we are assessing for the quality of the learning objectives. And lo and behold, now we have, as you can see on the screen, a quality analysis of the objectives that was created by the AI tool. So in our course in Advanced Instructional Strategies, we go in and discuss and diagnose whether these learning objectives would be truly appropriate at a graduate level, and should we begin to design instruction from these learning objectives. And so then we can download a report and certainly move on from there with working on that. So this is one of the ways we are currently working with and using Bloom's taxonomy today in our field. And this is certainly one pinpointed area that AI has had a great effect on learning design. So we are talking about that currently in our Advanced Instructional Strategies course. Also, we have various other research-based models that we follow. And one of the nice things when you get involved in learning design is to approach instruction with this research-based methodology to learning. And so Vygotsky created this concept of what we discuss in our course, the zone of proximal development. And this is often abbreviated in the research as ZBT. And this is part of a central idea of talking about language and the way children communicate with others after they are born, and they continue to learn by interacting with those around them. So when we look at designing instruction in the K through 12 arena, what we are looking at is what can children do right now, which is representative in the green circle, what we can do as learning designers to move them out to the what I can do, but with some help. And then ultimately, where we need to go out to is what our children cannot do, but through our instructional and learning design, how can we develop, in this case, social interaction, and language skills that move them out to a fuller development of their skills. So one of the things we learn in advanced instructional strategies is how do you design for this zone of proximal development that Vygotsky laid down in front of us. So again, I hope you can see too that we have many models that we follow, and these models have been in place for several years now. And when we go to use other technology tools like AI, we want to make sure that the outputs we're getting, if we choose to use AI, is some of these research-based models that we are following as part of instruction. Again, as my students know, overall, for the most effective design, we are involved right now in what is called the ADDIE model. And ADDIE is an abbreviation for we follow the process of analyzing our target population we are designing instruction for, moving to the design, which is where we will create and plan out our learning objectives, then moving to development, where we are choosing the instructional delivery method that we're going to provide the instructional content for. So in this case today, I'm on an online platform like Zoom, and that was decided for today's webinar that that would be the development platform. But as you already have seen in one of my beginning slides, we have many other areas we can deliver content and instruction through, like virtual reality and augmented reality, and face-to-face in our classrooms at the university is still an effective way in many regards to delivering instruction. And then we take this model all the way out through implementation and evaluation. So one of the other research-based models that we follow is problem-based learning. And we study this as part of our advanced instructional strategies that we incorporate in ITGL. And so the whole notion of implementing PBL is when the teaching role shifts from the more traditional model that all of us, I believe, here on today's webinar, I'm sure are very familiar with. And that was a model where we followed a linear sequential pattern where the teacher presents all the relevant material and, informs the class of what's needs to be done. And then ultimately, we know at the end, we're taking a test, we're taking a quiz based off that content that is delivered. But what we study in my course is looking at alternative ways of taking that same content that we would do in a traditional way, where we are told what we need to know, we memorize it, and then we are getting a test or a quiz. We're assigned some type of way to reflect that we know that content. But far too often now, internationally, in our schools and in our world of work, problem-based learning is what is valued. Can we take a problem and identify what we need to know to learn and apply to solve that problem? And in our Advanced Instructional Strategies course in ITGL, we learn how to solve for and design for problem-based learning in this course. This is becoming a more and more alternative, strong way for students to receive instruction at both a university level and truly at a K through 12 level, where we present our learners with the problems to be solved. We identify for them or help them come up with strategies of what we need to know, and then we learn and apply to solve the problem. Another strategy we discussed in our course in Advanced Instructional Strategy is that of flipped classroom. I have had many ITGL students in the past very interested in this strategy, and they've actually written research about it for their graded assignments in this course. And again, on the left, we have the traditional way of delivering instruction, both at a K through 12 and university level, where we have a lecture modality, and then we give students activities. But a flipped classroom is an instructional strategies where it's kind of fun to say we flip a classroom, which entails switching up the model using through which students encounter new knowledge. And so in flipped, the strategy is to have students do the required or readings and watch any videos or lectures before they actually come together in the classroom. And so the benefits of flipped is to look at, once those pre-readings and pre-organizational strategies are read about, come in directly in the classroom and be prepared for focusing on the applications, the analysis, and the evaluations. So if you recall, that's where we want to go for the top of Bloom's taxonomy. We want to move from the memorize, understand, learn about knowledge, and we want to give our students more opportunity time through instructional design where they can begin to think about the content from analysis, evaluation, and indeed creating their own projects at the top of Bloom's taxonomy. And so both the problem-based learning and the flipped classroom strategies get us there in the way of facilitating learning. And so in our course, we learn about these two strategies, and there's many more that we discuss during course time that we can employ as educational leaders on an international platform to better deliver the strength of our instruction and move away just a little bit from traditional lecture of the content and more to a flipped modality, or indeed more towards a problem-based learning modality. And so you might ask yourself, how would this lesson plan design look? And so again, one of the things we do is follow models. So we identify what the learning objectives are for a flipped classroom. We select the appropriate class content. And then we design interactive class activities that make the most economical and optimized sense for designing instruction. And then, as I said earlier, one of the things that back on Gagne's 9 events of instruction that were very important that we discussed during the class is how to provide our learners with effective and timely feedback. That becomes very, very important to do. And so what are some of these examples? So with each of these strategies, I give examples, concrete examples to our ITGL students, and not just talk about them in the theoretical. So we do certainly study the theoretical part, and we discuss those through many research articles that we read and so forth. But I truly feel that you also need to be exposed to the actual case studies and examples. So for flipped classroom, just to pick that one for a second, universities use flipped classrooms to enhance student engagement and deeper understanding of complex topics. So we give students time to work on things. In K through 12 schools, many schools integrate flipped classroom learning to provide personalized instruction to our students and to really truly maximize classroom time. So as the research has looked at how much optimized effective instruction are we doing in K through 12, what we have found is that we need to increase personal learning instruction and time that students can engage with the different academic areas like math, English, history, and science. And then there's also since we have a program focus area in entrepreneurship here in ITGL, it becomes very important to discuss as part of Advanced Instructional Strategies class how businesses currently are using, in this particular case, flipped classroom learning to train their employees in organizations efficiently with interactive workshops. So this I just put up here. This is typically, this is actually a scanned image, but this is typically what my students would think about in their group projects, and they sort of will come up with a group-based student mind map, and we discuss advantages and disadvantages to each of these instructional strategies. And so I feel that's important because to be an effective learning designer today, we need to know both the advantages and disadvantages to selecting the appropriate interventions that we are going to design for based on the targeted audience we have. And so here on this student mind map, this is very typical of what we do in advanced instructional strategies. We do this practically with each instructional intervention that we introduce. And we discuss these as both advantages and disadvantages and challenges in that. And then in the end, we do point out and bring together for many of us what are the benefits of, in this particular case, following through with flipped classroom. So we identify that in flipped classroom intervention strategies, it truly encourages active learning and engagement. And it allows students to learn at their own pace. Far too often, we are asking both K through 12 students, undergrad and graduate students to learn at the pace that the instructor wants to do. But we know that that's not personalized learning. That is just learning as a cohort, as a group. And we have found, and the research has found, that is ineffective for many, many topical academic areas. People need and want to feel comfortable moving at their own pace for the learning that we design. And in our course in ITGL for Advanced Instructional Strategies, we discuss and come up with the strategies as to how to do that. And then it follows through true that maximizing classroom time for collaboration and problem solving. Our learners want to be able to do that. And then we've also found through the research, this enhances student-teacher interactions, and it definitely leverages technology for very diverse learning experiences. And so again, it's not just enough to say as a learning designer that we're going to use technology in our instruction, but how do you leverage that technology? And so we do discuss that during advanced instructional strategies. So just to culminate today, I wanted to share with you what a typical next graded assignment might be in this course. And so on the screen is a project infographic that we use, and some things that I clearly look for from my students when they're designing instruction in this course. And so I look for, have they clearly ordered their sessions or their planned sessions they're going to discuss? Are they doing online sessions? In some of my assignments, that's a requirement. So you're not just designing instruction for face-to-face delivery, but you're also designing instruction for either some type of technology-based lesson or an online assignment. And then how we take various lesson components and sequence them together. For this assignment, I'm asking students to design 10 lessons, that's including both online and some of those virtual reality and augmented reality technologies need to be shown and built into these plans. And then we do assessments. We talk a lot about assessments, how we assess children, how we assess higher ed students for their backgrounds and assessments, and doing both formative and summative assessments. And then one that is a really fascinating area I find for our students in ITGL, we have great discussions on this. We talk about what's the most appropriate media selection to deliver instruction, and that not always is it face-to-face in the classroom through direct instruction, but we can use video, we can use podcasts, we can use many, many alternative forms to deliver the most effective instruction that we can to our learners. So I just want to conclude today. I'm happy to take any questions about our course, but I hope this gave you a nice review of some of the activities we do throughout the semester for Advanced Instructional Strategies. I do feel as a career opportunity for our ITGL students, this area of course design, learning design, curriculum development offers many, many career opportunities, as well as research opportunities as we continue to build out learning for all our international audiences. So, been happy to be with you today.
Thank you, Dr. Trexler. At this time, I'm going to just go over some admission application requirements and the admissions timeline before we open it up to Q&A. But if you have any specific questions for Dr. Trexler, you can go ahead and put those in the Q&A now. So at minimum, our applicants have to meet the following requirements. The first is to submit an online application. You can find that on the Johns Hopkins School of Education website. Pay the $80 application fee. Upload a resume. Please, when you're uploading your resume, think about any relevant work experience, research experience, internship, anything that you have related to education. Those things are definitely pertinent to put on your resume. There's an essay required. There are essay prompts in the application and on the website that you can look at for your essay. There's 2 required letters of recommendation. You'll need to submit all of your official transcripts from every institution that you attended post-secondary. If you studied inside the United States, the institution can send the official transcript directly to us. If you have international credentials, you'll need to get those credentials evaluated by a third-party agency. There's approved agencies on our website on the International Admissions webpage. So you can go there, look at the approved agencies, and you'll need a course-by-course evaluation of all of the credentials done outside of the United States. And then an ACEE video screening may be required after you submit your application. If you are selected for an interview, you will receive an email from admissions inviting you to reach out to ACEE to schedule that screening. So for the application deadline, you have until April 15th to submit your fall 2025 application to the ITGL program. So if you have not yet applied, you can still do that. There's plenty of time. If you've already applied and maybe you have an offer of admission, the deadline to accept your offer of admission and pay your non-refundable enrollment deposit is May 7th of 2025. So we do have a few moments here left for questions. So if you have any specific questions about admissions requirements or for Dr. Trexler, please put them in the Q&A and we will go over those questions. Okay, I have a question here from a prospective student for fall of 2026. And she would like to know what you would consider a good application. So I can talk about that a bit. So what the ITGL program is looking for is at least a 3.0 GPA on a 4.0 scale. That's a little bit different if you have international credentials, so you'll need to get your credentials evaluated to see what that would be if you're not sure. And then really it's a holistic application review. So we are taking into consideration any experience you have in education, any type of motivations you have to study education in your essay, what it is you are passionate about, why it is that you want to be in the ITGL program. For your letters of recommendation, if you have anyone from your undergraduate degree, maybe a mentor or a professor that worked closely with you who could tell us a little bit about your academic background, how you manage time, how you are able to handle a rigorous program. Any of that information is really, really helpful. The application review is definitely holistic. We have many students from outside of education in different fields who come into ITGL. So it's not necessarily for students who only study an undergraduate degree in education. So there's lots of different ways that students come into ITGL and are very successful. If you have any more specific questions about your specific area or anything specific to you that's personal, definitely reach out to me. You can do that. Here is contact information for myself. And then also Miss Betsy. She is the academic program administrator, and she can definitely answer any questions related to the program itself as well. Thank you for the question.
Serena, could I add one thought?
Absolutely, go ahead.
The question was, what's considered a good application? And one thing we always remind applicants is that you want to be consistent about your focus area selection. So if on your application, you have selected the entrepreneur and education focus area. Make sure that you you are consistent about talking about that focus area in your essay, for example, because we often find that applicants change the focus area from one element of the application to another. And if that happens, we'll come back to you to get clarity. So it will slow the process down.
That's
So
a great point.
yeah, so please be clear about the focus area. That's one of the reasons we're having these class previews today. You've had a chance to hear from Dr. Trexler. You have a pretty good idea. If you have a question about the focus area where he's the advisor, you could reach out to him and ask. So the doors are open. Thank you.
Thank you, Betsy. Any other questions before we close our webinar today? Okay, I'm not seeing any more questions. So thank you so much for being a part of our webinar. And we invite you to come back tomorrow for our class preview in global policy. Have a great day.